Hello everyone and welcome to On the Couch with Valerie Wheeler here in Corcoran in Cahirciveen. We are back where it all started 25 years ago. It is their anniversary. It was the Monday after the Park Fair that they opened their first store here in Cahirciveen, and to celebrate we're here with Bryan Sheehan. Bryan, it's lovely to have you on the couch.
Thanks for having me.
Bryan, first of all, we're here in Cahirciveen, so what was life like growing up here?
I think it was great, to be fair. When you get this locality down here in the weather, I think we have nothing better. We have beaches, we have scenery, we have everything down here. It was great. It was great life, to be honest with you. Football, sport, it's a religion down here. We've no choice in the matter but play football. But we're being very lucky from the point of view of great sports stars gone ahead of us, before us, Mick O'Dwyer, Mick O'Connell, Jack O'Shea, Mark Fitzgerald. So, it was it's kind of ingrained into you that you're down here, football, we're watching these fellas when you're growing up. You just seem to fall into the footsteps and hopefully you can get there. But great life, great club, friends, family down here. So yeah, great life down here.
I'd say a lot of people, it'd be like Kilkenny. When you go to Kilkenny, everyone is a hurley. So when you come here, does everyone carry a football around? Is that what you were like when you were younger?
When in younger days, yeah. Even when we started playing football, we cycle to school and we'd come home, have something to eat. We'd hop on the bike and cycle back into soccer training. And then we'd be finished soccer, we'd cycle home, have a bite to eat again, whatever, and then cycle back into football training at 6, 7 o'clock. And the full dressing room wall was full of bikes. Everyone was cycling, whereas nowadays it's completely different. Fellas are very slow to cycle. I know it just maybe the fact it's just different times, different generations, safety, whatever it is. But we used to have gangs for cycling. And I live over the water, so I'm over in Ballycarbery Castle, so it's a 2 mile cycle in, but we could have anything up to 6, 7, 8 people cycling in between football and soccer. So there was always a bit of banter, always a bit of crack, and stopping along the way somewhere, fooling around there. So as much as the sport itself was enjoyable.
A lot of people still set, you grow up here and settle here, but unfortunately, a lot of them tend to go outside of small towns and villages because of employment stuff. But like Corcoran's here 25 years, how important are business like here in Cahirciveen to keep people in jobs and keep them here in your town? Like,
massive. It's everything. I did an event a couple of months ago or weeks ago at this stage, and there was one thing that was highlighted was the decline of the numbers down here in South Kerry, and it's down to jobs, down to employment. We're very lucky to have like Corcoran here that have employment. We have fellas that are playing club football with me, the Mary that are employed here. So it's massive that they're able to keep people here and give them opportunities to work. And other than that, I suppose from the locality where we are, we have no choice but to travel. And you're probably talking to Killarney, Castleinland, for people to work here. And further afield, then people go to college, work in the cities, and I don't think the draws from to commute up and down. And unfortunately, clubs are feeling into that now at the moment. So the big thing for South Kerry, it needs employment. It needs employment, and if employment is there, I think the people will stay.
Yeah.
And when the people are staying, move back home, the numbers will be there for football, and everything else builds off it, from the economy to the restaurants, the bars, everything.
We've had James, we've had Gooch on the couch over the last few weeks to chat to us about their career with Kerry, and you started your career quite young. I mean, if you were 15, and I know a lot of people know this already, but you were a goalkeeper, which is mad that you started out as a goalkeeper.
But I actually was always out the field, and I was pushed into goal then because I could kick the ball out. And that was more or less, I was a 15-year-old, the club were looking for a goalkeeper. And I recall it was James Cuckoo, Jordy O'Sullivan, and Johnny Welsh, and they were looking for a goalkeeper. And they said, well, Bryan can kick the ball. I was kicking 45s at 15 years of age. And they said, look, we'll transfer Bryan in goal. So I went over the water. The football pitch in Cahirciveen at the time was being redeveloped. So I was over the water in the community field. Practiced a few kick-outs, and they said, yeah, into goal you go. And basically went into goal at 15, played for the school. A couple of months later, they had the carnivory, and from there into the Kerry minors. And before I knew it, in the space of 4 months, had never played in goal to play in goal to Kerry minors.
I mean, what was that like for you? Were you like, did you want to go in there? Were you like, oh, the thoughts of going in goal?
I didn't enjoy it looking back. Okay. No, I was nervous wreck because I was unfamiliar with it. There'd be people raining in and going, I'd like, kick it over the bar, I don't want to make a save, But other than that, I got used after a while. I was looking out for my brother who played in goal. So he played in goal for Killarney. He played with Killarney Athletic. He played with the local club here as well in goal. So when we were at home, like there's nothing else to do. We're over in Ballycarbery, play football was the main thing every evening. So bit of role reversals. I went into goal. He was shooting on me, and kind of, you develop as you go along and you learn. Yeah, it wasn't my be and all and end all where I wanted to play, but I got massive and great experience out of it.
Yeah.
15 years of age, playing inside in Killarney, playing in Páirc Uí Chaoimh in a Munster final, and there was 40,000 people there, and then going to Crow Park about a week before my 16th birthday. The experience was massive, and I think that's what actually fed into that bit of hunger, saying, I like this, I love this, and it made me want to go again and want to go again. And yeah, I think that was definitely the turning point for me, where I got the bug, as I call it. I got the bug for the football and for that success with Kerry.
How was your shot stopping?
It wasn't great, to be fair. I was in there for one reason only. I was 6 foot. I could catch it and I could kick it out.
Yeah.
So I recall Jerry Nelligan at the time was the manager for the Kerry Miners, and he said to me, if you do enough shouting inside there and organise your backs around you, you won't have to make any saves. Okay. So it's actually great advice. Good advice. So make sure everyone else does your work so you don't have to do it.
Well, look, you said you got the bug and then you went from the minors to senior, and nowadays it's very rare that transition is there, that they go from minor to seniors, but you did it.
Yeah, but I suppose time was different back then. The game was developed an awful lot from the point of view of S&C, strength and conditioning. I recall coming in at 18 years of age into the seniors, and I was like a stick. I recall I ran into my Mahoney one night, and he broke me in two, and I could see back then, yes, you can do it, but no, I don't think many can do it unless you're a phenomenal, unless you have all that S&C done and you happen to be a big fella. The last person I recall doing it was probably David Clifford and Shawnee Shea. Yeah. And look, they're two big men. They're 6 foot. David 6 foot 2 or 3. Shawnee 6 foot 1 or 2. They were probably, even at that, they were still young going in there, and they still had to learn and develop. So it's a different time from when I went in there to now, and it's purely down to the S&C, the coaching. It's massive. It's a different game now, and young fella could really get hurt, especially at inter-county level. When you see the size of these fellas and what they're lifting weights and the speed they're traveling at, compared to when I was back there, the gym really hadn't taken fully evolved.
Was your nutrition, what was it like back in the day when it comes to this S&C? Were you eating chippers the night before and pizzas, or you?
No, I wasn't that bad, no, but it wasn't good. Looking back on it, when I first started off, it was non-existent. It was non-existent. It wasn't until you kind of came in, you realised, right, Brian, you need to put on weight, you need to bulk up. And then you're kind of told what you need to do, and so that these kind of come into play then.
At least you were told put it on instead of.
Well, I was early days. Yeah, later on in the career it was take it off. My early days I probably got too much of it. I was like, it's great. You can bulk up here and you eat this and that, and eat pasta and protein and put the weights, and all of a sudden then it's Brian, okay, you need to watch this now. Yeah. So but it really kicked off, in the mid 2010, 11, 12, it got very, very serious. And I recall, even from the point of view in 2013, I think, when Eamon first came in as Kerry manager with Cian O'Neill, it was a completely different ball game then. It just, in that space, those 2 or 3 years, it went from what I would say kind of being semi-professional to nearly professional in every aspect, from the diet to the gym to everything else. Yeah. So it really took, and it's even gone further again now in the last 5.
You made the debut in 2005. Do you remember the day?
I do. My league debut was against Offaly in a night inside in Tralee that you wouldn't put the dog out in. It was howling. And I recall the same night, you kind of saying to yourself,
leave me on the bench.
Well, it wasn't so much that. It was like in the first half, very unlikely you're going to come on the first half.
Okay.
You're going to come on the second half more than likely, if I go to come on at all.
Yeah.
And next night we won the toss and we played with the wind in the first half. So that means the second half we're coming on playing into a gale of wind, and the rain was literally sideways. So we came on against Offaly, and it was just one of those games where it was just Tralee, muck, wind, rain. But look, it was my debut. I'll never forget it for the right reasons. And then later on that year, championship debut against Cork in the All-Ireland semi-final. So, yeah.
What a game, to come on, championship match, semi-final in All-Ireland.
Yeah, it was. I suppose at the time, usually you're playing ABB games inside in training, and even at the time when Jack was training, it was always the A team versus the B team. So you were always you knew where you were, but then you at the same time, you knew if you were going well, marking one of the A team players, there's a possibility you could get a shout here. Yeah, I just didn't know where Jack when he says, Brian, we're going to give you a shout against Cork, and sure. What a feeling. Yeah, I can actually still recall the phone call that he said to me. It was the excitement straight away, ringing mum and dad, and so it was a nice feeling.
And you were outfield for the seniors, and who decided you're going outfield? Was it Jack?
Well, yeah, I see. My first 2 years in minor, so my first year was in goal at the minors. My second year, I played the round robin out the field.
Okay.
Jack shoved me back into goal for the school team, so then I had to go back in the goal for the Kerry minors. So
You were in and out like
I was
you
in
don't
out the
know.
whole time, yeah, but out the field for I always wanted to play. So I was out the field for my second year minors, and my third year minors I was out the field all year. So Pat O'Shea was the manager then, and I went from there straight into the seniors out the field. Look, Jack knew I always wanted to be out the field.
Yeah.
I always played all my football from under out the field, with the exception of those 2 seasons that I went in goal. So it was always going to be out the field.
And like, look, come here, there's people here in Kerry, young lads, young girls now as well, of course, dreaming to grow up and play for their county, get to Croke Park, get to an All-Ireland and win them, and you have 5 Celtic crosses. I mean, 5 of them is it's just nuts nowadays to say that you have 5. Can you remember getting your first one?
Yeah, it was 2006 was the first one. Sorry, 2004 the first one.
Okay.
I was just after we coming on the panel, so it is again an experience. I wasn't fully involved in the whole campaign, but yeah, like again, I mean, I was only 18 years of age when I was a senior panel, and my very first year getting involved, you go to an All-Ireland final, you win the All-Ireland. The experience, the hunger, the celebrations, the preparation, you know, getting suits, getting all the gear, you know, there was gear being thrown at you, whereas the minors, you were coming back at a gear bag or a pair of shorts and socks, you know, and this was just phenomenal. Like, I mean, and again, it was another thing at such a young age, 18, coming in and getting, you know, you already had the bug from the minors, but then you got this with the seniors, and then you won the All-Ireland, the celebration, but on with it and everything else, and then, you know, it made you want more. And that's what I always found, and that was always a big thing with Kerry. When you won one, it wasn't enough, you had to go again. And I think that was brilliant in that group and dynamic of players we had, that 1 wasn't enough, or 2 wasn't enough, and all of a sudden that you got that taste for it, and you wanted more. So yeah, look, very lucky, have 5, lost 5 as well. So look, but that's part and parcel of it. I don't look.
But you'd accept the lows for those highs.
Absolutely, and I think that's, if you have to experience those lows to fully acknowledge just how important it is to get the wins as well. You know what I mean? Those lows do. You learn way more in defeat than you would do in a victory. So they do really teach you, but also they give you that extra motivation to go again and get one better than the previous year.
I tend to ask absolutely everybody this question about their All-Ireland medals, and everyone seems to say the same thing to me, that they're thrown around the place. Where are you keeping yours?
Yeah, they're thrown around the place. They're in the attic. There's a few in the attic. I've my most recent one, 2014, is in the drawer at home. I know it says home there, but yeah, it's in the attic.
What's that about?
I don't know what it is, to be fair. I've been meaning to for years to put them together. I have a display unit at home that's literally thrown into a cabinet, and I was told, get my medals, organise them, and put them into it. And I said, yeah, I'll do that. And I've been saying that for the last 7 or 8 years. But I do know they're up in the attic. My mother cleared out the room below because there was medals everywhere. Put them into a box up in the attic, and I know the 2014 one is in the drawer because it's the last one I have, so that's in the drawer.
We're on for the free taking, right? Nowadays it's so massive when it comes to someone taking free. Like you some people not automatically think in their head, it's a guaranteed point. That's a lot of pressure to put on someone taking a free. Did you feel pressure like that back in the day? That if up there now, it's guaranteed point for us, off you go.
I did when I was younger, to be fair, but it was something I loved doing, and I suppose that's again how I fell into goal, from kicking frees. You know, growing up here when I was playing football, or a young fella, my father was still playing.
Yeah. And
he'd always say, watch Morris. So, of course, we're down watching Morris, you're watching. So then I turn around and I go home and I try to see what Morris kicking frees. And I started off, if I look at where I started off, 10 yards out off the goal, and then practicing going back and back further. So I always had the free kicks, and I always kicked for frees for the team up long. But yeah, when I was younger and I look back at it now, you're going to say, well, is it anxiety, is it nerves, or pressure, or what is it? Because there was games where, you know, there could be free, and I'd be saying, oh, don't let the free be my side, let it be in Gooch's side. Let Gooch kick it, you know, because it was a pressure game, and yeah, there was situations.
He's
like
probably
that.
thinking the same.
Yeah. No, Gooch would be cooler now, but yeah, especially my first couple of years, definitely my first maybe 2 years, definitely. But look, I think that was its experience, and the more you go through it, the more you kind of realize, you know, you just learn to deal with the pressure. Again, a big part of it is practice, the time I put into it. You know, I genuinely did spend hours upon hours below the football field here in Cahirciveen, kicking frees, because it was one thing I prided myself on. It's the one thing I said to myself, you know, there's a lot of responsibility on you to score, to get frees. As I said, the older I got, the more experience I got, the more I relished actually wanting those frees. And I loved it. And even the latter stage of my career, I kind of walked away from football for a year here, thinking I was retired from the club football. And actually, the one thing I missed was just getting a bag of balls, going down to the field, kicking frees. It was like it's therapy for me more than anything else now. So, yeah, it's I love it. It's not something I look upon as a chore or it's a responsibility that I actually love taking. I love it.
We'll touch on the club in just a few minutes, but I was chatting to actually Tiger Woods' first agent. Hughes Norton's his name, right? And he was on about Tiger playing recently, and he's surprised he's still playing, and that some sports people don't know when to retire. But for you, was it the right time to go? Were you like, right, I need to go now? Or how difficult is that decision in your head to make?
Yeah, it is difficult because the game has gone to such a level, the commitment that goes into it. But for me, what it was injury. That previous year in 17, that year I missed most of the final and I missed the Ireland quarter final through injury. When I came out of that, we played county championship with South Kerry, and I think I went off first game afterwards again. I was like, what is wrong? What's wrong with me? Like my hamstrings, and as people, I'm not fast enough. I'm not fast enough to be pulling hamstrings. So I'm kind of saying, what's wrong with me here? I'm not a speed merchant. And basically, what it was, I went to a specialist, and it was tendonitis. And I suppose it was put to me that the amount of work that's required at the intercounty level to get that right, to go next year again. And I was basically told that I just had too much of a season, too much of a workload. So when it happened, it was during the year we carried All Ireland semi final last May on 17. Then we county championship after that. Then we do local championship here in South Kerry. And the specialist said to me, look, he said, Brian, you need 6 weeks downtime just to let the body recover. You need 6 weeks after Christmas to do S&C on your hamstrings to get your hamstrings bulletproof. Then you need 6 weeks of fitness road work, and then you're into football. But that was halfway through. I'd been out the other side of the league, heading into the championship with no football played, and you're not going to break into the Kerry team for championship having played no football for 6 to 8, 12 weeks.
Yeah.
So I think it was more or less realising the work that had to go into it, to what I was going to get out of it, to probably sit on the sideline and play part football.
Yeah.
And the body doesn't fool anyone time way to know, and unfortunately, when the body starts talking to you, I think, it was decided to pull the plug. So at the start, I didn't miss it too much, but then once the championship rolled around, and then the games in Killarney, and then the atmosphere, and I recall being inside in Killarney for Kerry played Mayo, and in one of the back doors or the qualifying system at the time, and I recall all the boys out in Europe now, and they're having their meal, and they're here. Just also that kind of stuff starts creeping in. Even the parade, walk around the atmosphere in Crow Park. That's the one thing I actually missed more than anything else, is the buzz of crowd. And I recall a good few people saying that to me, that it's the buzz. You'll never again get that experience, because you'll never again walk into an environment where you'll have 80,000 people. So that's the one thing, that is the buzz. You never get that buzz again.
Maybe you might still get the buzz though, because you have creeped into selector of the under-20s. I mean, management. How have you been finding that side of things now, being the other side of managing these side of things?
I didn't know how it was going to take with it at first. But to be fair, last year was our first year at it, so it was probably new to us, Tomas. So there was a few of us Tomas wasn't new to it, but I suppose I was kind of new to it. So especially with young fellas, and the under-20s is just a kind of a hard age group, because we're watching fellas playing school football, and then you're watching fellas playing college football, and you may have one or two playing citizen football. So you're watching a 17-year-old and a 20-year-old on two different spectrums. And we're talking, we spoke previously about how you develop from going from minors into senior. You're talking 17-year-old playing school football and playing under 20. So there's a big jump in it, and there was a big difference watching two different footballs, two different levels. But saying that, though, I was thoroughly enjoying it. And I found this year more so than last year, for whatever reason, and it will again nothing to do with the players or the setup or anything. It's just maybe that year of experience under our belt. I felt that bit more comfortable coming this year, but very enjoyable, especially when you're with a group of young fellas there who, to be fair to them, they were excellent. They're no matter what you ask of them, they're being pulled from pillar to post. They've got club football, they've got college football, they've school football. We have them in training. They're asked to do gym sessions. Like, things were bad when I was there, but they're every bit as bad now for these fellas. But there was no moaning, complaining. They got on with us. We went to an All-Ireland final this year and lost to a Tyrone team that I must say, I don't think I've seen a more balanced, athletic footballing team than the Tyrone. They had everything. So at the end of the day, we just hold our hand up. I feel we lost to a better team, but you know what, fantastic journey. Thoroughly enjoyed it, and it did get me into that that motive of the management side of it.
Yeah.
I didn't think I'd take to it.
Taste for it now.
I do. I have a taste for it. I do know, but at what level, to what extent, I don't know. It is time consuming, no matter what way you look at it. Like that's intercompany level. There's a lot of work goes into it from the time of organising training, or talking to players, video work, even club football nowadays. When you're still 3 nights a week, you're still trying to watch games. So it's something I would get into. I have a young family, and I just need to time it as to when I think I can get into it. But yeah, it did give me the bug for going to management of some sort.
And what's the club situation? You're still going, are you? Fair play, seriously now, fair play to you.
I'm going back.
The body must be like, come on, give me a break.
I took a year out there, just thought I'd enough of it, and then I realised no, I still missed it, and I went back then last year, and it just so happened that our goalkeeper was after going abroad, so we were kind of stuck for a goalkeeper. So I said, you know what, it'd be nice to feed myself back into it. I can stand in goal, I can kick out the ball, and I can progress my way out the field. But I stayed inside goal because I was doing more of the fly goalkeeper that we see nowadays.
God, so I'm like, get back in.
Yeah, I was getting 50 feet behind. I said, no, I try to take off in the odd gallop here and there up the field, and don't realise how long of a trek it is to get back if you mess up front. But so I'm back last year, and yeah, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it, to be fair. And again, this year couldn't commit early on because you've done your 20s, so you're done 20s in November, December, and you're up until March, or we were there till April, May this year. So I couldn't commit to that. I'm already 3 nights a week traveling out of here with kids and stuff, and then to be playing football the other 3 nights a week, I couldn't commit to both of them. So came back this year then for the latter games of the County League.
You mentioned the modern game there. Now we might as well touch on it. I mean, before we let you go, what are your thoughts on the modern game of football? Is it a good spectacle? Do you enjoy watching it?
I'll be honest, no, it's not a good spectacle, and I think anyone that watched the Kerry Derry or in quarter final, I think there you go. It's just not enjoyable. It's just 50 men behind the ball, and that's not putting blame on the Kerry, because I know in 2014 we had to play Donegal, who were playing the same system, and we had to adapt a similar type approach to Donegal, because if we went playing our own game, we'd have been crucified. They'd have caught you. So you do have to, and I think Jack and the boys said in the interviews afterwards, you have to play what's in front of you and play to a certain way that will allow you a chance to be competitive against a team like Derry. But it's hard in the eye, and then look, it's hard in the eye. I know some people will say, in the younger generation are saying, yeah, but we've grown up with this for the last couple of years. For me, it's not enjoyable. It's 50 men behind the ball. If you've got the best footballer in the country like David Clifford, how is he supposed to play with 30 bodies around him? It's hard. It's not enjoyable. And I think people are now realising the attendances at these games is dropping, and I think that is why. And it's creeping into club football. And I think as much as anything else, that's probably maybe turning people off as well. So there's a couple of teams that will go out and play football, don't get me wrong. Just mean, and there is a defensive side to the game that has come in, and it's way more, it's necessary in the game now, and it's part of the game. Whereas before, when I started off playing your 6 forwards, you just stayed up on your side of the field and the backs did their job. Obviously, the game's evolved to that extent, but this thing of plonking 15 men behind the ball, it's not attractive. It's just watching the game, the teams go over and back to the field. It's not entertaining. It's not entertaining. So the new rules that are coming in, I'm very hopeful that there's 2 rules in particular that I like that to see come in, especially keep the 3 backs and forwards and 1 into the field. You're taking 6 bodies out of the field in the back. That's a lot when it comes to it. So I think that'll be a massive plus. And
I guess the other one, the points for.
Yeah.
How did it go?
Go
on.
Yeah, I just think it is, because I think at the moment we're training athletes to play football. We're training fellas that can go up and down the field all day, that can hand pass the ball all day, and some of them can't kick the ball over the bar from 35 yards. Whereas now, if this rule comes in that there's a 40-yard kick, I think a manager might be saying, well, hold on a second. If I have a fella here that mightn't be able to technically to go up and down the field all day and tackle 30 times, or to clock up 11, 12 kilometres, but he might clock up 8 or 9, but this fella might be able to kick me 2 points from outside 40, which is 4 points in total. I think it's a different ballgame. I think those 2 rules for me they stand out for me. I think that could be a game changer for football. Yeah,
let's see what they do going forward. Before, one last thing before I let you go, you have a small family. How are you enjoying family life, and are they into the football?
Yeah, they're so mad. Done is 6. He's into this. He goes to every training session with me. He goes to all our games. He's obsessed with this. Dylan is 3 next week. Getting into it. The first 2 boys at home, they've no choice, but it's all ball. And the small fella Fiona is only 17 months, but he sees the other 2 at it, so he's around for this as well. So my plan is to stay in goal and have the 3 boys in the full back line in front of me.
I
So
love
but
that.
I'm mad into it, so it's a great thing to have. And they're involved in other sports as well. Donald's doing the cool camps. He does soccer, he does athletics. So it is great that they're involved in something. It doesn't have to be football, but when they're down here, I'm afraid you're going to try to put through the football. So
Brilliant.
football, mad in the house.
Brilliant. It's been fantastic chat to you, and I can tell that everyone in Cahirciveen is so proud of everything that you've achieved, and your career has been absolutely fantastic. So thank you for joining us today in Cahirciveen.
Thanks very much. Cheers. Thank you.